तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्मच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिर्देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती सरस्वती.
Om Shanti. Good morning to you all. Meditation practice isn't about trying to throw ourselves away and become something better. It's about befriending who we are already. The mind is definitely something that can be transformed, and meditation is a means to transform it. A quiet mind is more important than a positive mind. And to practice meditation, in practicing, we're not trying to live up to some kind of ideal. Quite the opposite. We're just being with our experience, what it is. Can I invite Daksha Didi for our session today? Good morning, Om Shanti. Daksha Didi, all yours.
Hello. Yeah. Om Shanti. It's a message from somebody that they couldn't hear you, Panaban, but I could hear you well. So I hope that's something at their end.
Can't hear the other.
Yeah. So everybody can hear. So very beautiful thing about meditation, and it's just really lovely to see this group's commitment.
Sorry, we can't hear you.
Panaban, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
No, very low it is. Yeah, we need to be higher, please.
Daksha Didi is always very soft. You need to put your volumes up a little bit.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Om Shanti.
Then.
Om Shanti.
That's that voice. Okay.
Madhura was.
Madur.
That is the beauty of a meditation.
Please do little up high. Please, Daksha, very low it is. Sorry.
I guess there's rain at your end. So trying my best. That's the maximum I can do. So I hope you can hear me. Right. So I'm getting a hands up from a few people. And so what I wanted to share today was something that I picked up from our morning class, the different stages of a meditator. And there were 3 stages, 3 different categories that were mentioned. And I would like you to reflect on it and see where you are and how you can move from 1 to 2nd to 3rd if you're still at the level 1. And sometimes we're at all 3 levels, but we need to then figure out which one that I focus on most. So the first level was, I say these words in Hindi first, and then I'll translate in English. And the ones that are Snehi and Sahiyogi. So they have a lot of love for God. They have a lot of sneh, love for God. And they also find different ways to cooperate, as it's to reach out to people. And then the second stage of a meditator is the one who is sahayogi, but also yogi. So the one who cooperates, as in gives their time and energy, bringing benefit to others and in God's task, but also are meditators themselves. And the third one is the one who are nirantar yogi and also prayogi, the one who are constantly a yogi and also the one who experiments. So the first stage is just being loving and cooperative. The second being where I am cooperative, but also a meditator, a yogi. And the third stage is where I'm constantly a meditator, and also that I'm experimenting as in where I'm using the meditation to bring benefit to the world. Because so often people want to do meditation because it gives them happiness. It brings them peace. But is that why we are meditating? Is a question to ask. Just because Mare Shanta ho jaye, I want to feel peaceful. Or is it that I really want to spread this peace in the world? I want to reach out to people that I cannot physically reach out. So whether it's the people who are suffering because of war, of natural calamities, of illnesses, or just relationships, because there's a lot of suffering through relationships. So you may have the money, you may have comforts, you may have positions, but what if your relatives don't get along well with you, whether it's your colleagues, whether it's your relations? Then too you find that it is not possible to be able to then be happy, because it does hurt. The relationships, in a way, are our greatest means of happiness, but also are the greatest reasons for our sorrow. Would you agree with me? Yeah. So let me see whether I am at the stage of where I'm constantly being able to be a meditator as in yogi, and also able to, through my experiments, through my meditation, reach out to the world. Or am I just being cooperative whilst I'm meditating? Or am I still at the stage of where I have a lot of love for God, a lot of love for humanity, and I'm doing my little bits here and there? So if you're at level 1, then let's move to level 2 and then to level 3. If we are at level 3 already, then let's maintain it and increase our capacity of reaching out and for ourselves. So it's to be aware that, am I actually taking time out just for myself? Am I using my thoughts and energy just to bring benefit to myself? Or am I thinking about the world at large all the time? Just see, as when you have a lot of commitment family-wise, say you are the one who is earning the bread and butter for the family. And so if you're sick, and if you don't go to work, then your family is going to be deprived from food, from facilities. What would you do? You will try your very best to get up and go for work to earn money so that family can be looked after. But do I have this feeling for the whole world as my family? Vasudeva Kutumbakam. And here it's not about financially or, just with possessions that we're able to benefit them, but it's through our thoughts. Am I always sending vibrations of peace and love to everybody? Am I sending the thoughts of kindness to everyone all the time? Or if something goes wrong, I like you, but then you say something wrong about me, or I hear that you've said something about me, and then I get upset. Is that being a yogi? is a question to ask. Is my happiness, in the hands of others all the time? That if they say I'm good, then I feel happy. If they say wrong things about me, then I feel sad. So this is what God means by experimenting, that your meditation, you have to reach to a certain stage, but then you constantly just serving others. And in fact, when you see somebody in need, say suppose even if your family, friends, they're not getting along with somebody, and you know that you can, you would want that to be put right. So experimenting is just you sending all the souls involved vibrations. And it's not that you're constantly thinking about them when you're meditating. When you start your meditation, just for a few seconds, think about that situation or think about that people, and then just think about God. And you will find that when you do that, they will find solutions themselves and get out of the trouble. And this is why so often that we get asked, and especially, even for years we have been being asked, but certainly since the pandemic, it's become quite obvious, and people from different parts of the world who are tuning into our sessions, they ask, can you, when you're meditating, please pray for this one, or please send vibrations to this one is ill, this one is this one, or that has happened to them. So that's what we mean by experimenting. So what I'm taking from our study class today for myself is to really focus on using my energy to reach out through those prayog. And I don't think there's an accurate word or a proper word for that in English, but the closest is like experimenting. But it's, when we use the word experiment, whether you may get success or you may not get success. But the word prayog has the word of success going with it. So there's guarantee that whenever we send our thoughts and vibrations, there will be that will be received by the people that you're thinking about, and the change can happen. But obviously we have to be very, very careful that we're not using it for our own selfish motives. That is not prayog. I'm after something and I want to trap you, and I'm sending you vibrations, and then you do get trapped, or you agree with what I'm saying or doing. So in this word prayog, experimenting, there is no question of being selfish. So I'd like to just you to take a few minutes to understand and look at all these three stages where I am loving and cooperative. Loving as in loving towards God, loving towards the humanity, and I do a bit of reach out. Am I at this stage? Or am I at this stage where I am a yogi myself, yogi as in connected through my thoughts, through my feelings with the Supreme, and making God as a priority in my life. And then I'm also cooperative. That's the second stage. But the highest stage where God wants us to reach is to be Nirantar Yogi, a constant yogi, and also a prayogi, the one who is able to then, through their meditation, serve the world. And this is why every third Sunday, especially for many, many years from 1970s, we have 1 hour that we dedicate for world peace. But actually most meditators at the Brahma Kumaris do this on a daily basis, but the one on third Sunday, we do it collectively. But always part of our meditation session is to reach out. In fact, it's more to reach out than just for ourselves. So like if I'm attending these sessions because I want to just feel peace, which is good too. But we have to move from that stage now. You've been coming, many of you have been joining these sessions. Some of you have also done the Raj Yoga course. So at least from January, every Sunday, most Sundays, we've been meeting you. So now is the time to come to the stage from, let me be a yogi and a cooperative, and then also aim to be a constant yogi and reaching out. I'll then now share a few thoughts that what it means to be at these 3 different stages, and then we'll open up for question answers. So sit back, relaxed, with the feet on your ground. Sitting alert. So if you're feeling a bit drowsy, just make sure that you're sitting comfortably, but very alert. Taking your thoughts within. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathe in deeply and breathing out. I bring my focus to where I am. Parking everything for the moment on the side. Things that are pulling me, things I have to do after this session. Things that went wrong. She's on my mind to sort out. Just park it on the side for the moment. And let me look at where I am in my spiritual journey. Am I at the stage of just being loving and cooperative? I have love for God, love for humanity. And I do very best to reach out. Bits and pieces here and there, supporting the good cause. Or have I moved from that stage to have that deep, deep love for God and myself, my true self? And allowing and having that willingness to be available and ready for God's task of reaching out. I moved on to another level of that deep tapasya, that intense spiritual work, and a very simple definition of this word tapasya. Tu mera aur main tera. God, you belong to me and I belong to you. So that constant connection and this beautiful bond of love between God and myself. True tapasya. It's not just that I'm available as and when needed. I actually sense, even without being told, that things are not right. And heart tapasya, I can fix it. So I become like a scientist, a yogi, one who experiments. Just like a scientist working in a laboratory. I need to spend time in silence. The basis of this prayog of reaching out has to be no selfish motives. And I understand where we can't reach physically or through financial help. We can reach through our thoughts far, far distance at any corner of the world without physically having to travel there. Send these vibrations of strength, of love, of hope drawing it from the ocean, the Supreme, my sweet Baba, the Supreme Light. And sending it throughout the world, especially to those darkest corners. Their souls are very confused, very tired, and have lost hope. God's light and might through the soul is able to reach to the world. And at some point, I to disappear. Just like a fountain of God's light, blessing the whole world with warmth, with hope, instilling self-respect and self-love, self-worth in each soul. And especially for the souls in need. The next few minutes, let's just in very deep silence continue to serve the world. If anything is pulling your mind, now is the time to train your mind. Talk to your mind. Let me just focus on what I need to do now, and I'll come back to you. So next few minutes in deep silence, drawing from God, just allowing it to reach to the world. maybe just the soul needs a bit of hope. But the souls need something else. God's light reaching them will touch somebody to provide the help they need. Slowly bring back your attention to where you are. I know it's very difficult to come into sound. However, if you have any questions, do ask. Questions?
Didi, I have a question, please. What is Mansa Seva?
I'm not sure if I can see who's asking that.
Nilu?
Okay, yeah. We say we can serve through man, vatan, and karam, right? Through our mind, through our actions, and through our speech, through our thoughts, through our words, and through our actions. Yeah, sometimes we use the word tan, man, dhan. So through our bodies, as in physical actions, we reach out, we do things, we cook, we clean, we provide. And man, through our minds, and also wealth. So highest form of reaching out is through our mind, through our thoughts. And this is what we've been talking about, being Nirantar Yogi. Nirantar means there's no antar. It's constant. There's never a start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. It's constant. You know, even in the 6 scriptures, they use this word anhad avaz and incognito. So it is silent and also constant. So this is kind of the level of remembrance that God wants us to reach. That even whilst we are doing things for our families, our friends, for our work, for the community, our basis of awareness is always God and myself. And then whole world is my family, and whoever's in front, of course, I'm going to serve them, but it's actually with this awareness I'm serving the world. Yeah. So Mansa Seva is when you're serving through your thoughts. But in order to do Mansa Seva, we have to have a practice throughout the day and, throughout our life of really having nothing but just good wishes for everyone. These words, good wishes and pure feelings, are very, very important means of reaching out. So I'm upset with somebody, I'm upset with the situation, and I say, I'm going to have good wishes for them. It doesn't work. Yeah. Okay, you may not agree with what they're saying, but I cannot allow sorrow to be taken. I cannot allow sorrow to be received. And even accidentally, even without your, kind of least of thought, you have hurt somebody. Through our thoughts, we can rectify that. Sometimes it may take longer, depending on the person's capacity to receive. Sometimes it's the amount of hurt that they've been given through others. And when something we say hurts them and bothers them, when they least expected us to do that. And we were probably just saying because we're familiar with them and we think we can tell them, but sometimes it just, hits the chord and they're upset. So Mansa Seva is to reaching out to people that are hurt. But Mansa Seva is also, say suppose somebody is ill, I cannot be there physically, I cannot necessarily talk to them, but I can reach through my thoughts. So Mansa Seva also can reach for people that you don't know. And what we just did, I thought, really, all of you were also those ones who I could see on the video, I could sense, but there was just deep silence. So each of us have this capacity of reaching out. Somewhere, somebody's in need, calling out. And this is why, even in our advanced classes, there are messages like, can you not hear the cries of the bhagats? Can you not hear the cries of people in distress? So even people who love God are in distress. You don't just have to reach out to people in, kind of war-torn zones, but also even devotees, they're losing their hope in God because they're not ready to accept that whatever they're facing is because of their own karma. And so they blame God. And it's because God's being biased, God's being partial. Isko diya, mujhe nahi diya. They gave to them and not to me. But if we all look at what life has given to us, what others have given to us, and especially what God's provided for us, what we don't have is very little compared to what we have. So that is what Mansa Seva is. Always remembering what I have as a fortune and how can I just share. So every thought of mine, this is what we saw in our seniors, our daddies, is for bringing the world benefit. That's why somebody like Dadi Janki's example, when we take, I think she must be in her 60s or something when she came. Don't know the exact age, but certainly 50 plus. Didn't speak so much English, understood a little bit of it. She often used to say she just came with a little Air India bag, and that's it. That was her possession. And where she lived, to begin with, our centers in Kilburn, which still we have those places where sisters live now. And from time to time, we go there for special meditation. Sharing a house with people of different background, sharing a shower with people of different background, just their tyag and tapasya. But what was their aim? That I want to serve the world. And in no time, a few years, the center's activity reached 200 plus countries. It's not because she did travel a lot physically, but it was also a Mansa Seva. And that's what she taught everybody who lived with her, who heard her. And, okay, we haven't reached that level of Dadi, but that is the aim. So as much as possible, as I said, the three categories I mentioned earlier, that we go from one to second to third, but the aim is that we're always constantly at the highest level. And so serving through our mind. But our hearts have to be very, very pure, even for the ones who've defamed us, misunderstood us, and sometimes it's like shocking. Something just a few days happened ago. I'm thinking, what on the earth is this person thinking? What on the earth is this person thinking about or talking about? It was not even in our slightest thought, but they misunderstood. But words may not be able to correct it, but our thoughts can. But sometimes it takes a lot of patience on our part too. But let's not give up our hope, right? Any other question?
Thank you, Didi.
Anyone else would like to ask?
No, I had the same, but you've answered it. You answered the question just now. So when you say, when you're meditating, do whatever, and I think I did get it afterwards.
I think the sister's raising a hand. I'm not sure what your name is. So she's logged in as Chandrakant Sujani. Do you have any questions?
Sorry, my husband's name is there.
Yeah, I thought so. It didn't sound like your name.
Sorry. No, I just wanted to share my feelings. I lost my dear friend last week. She was same age as me. I didn't see her since such a long time, but we used to study together. We were in hostel together for 7 years, same class, everything. She suddenly passed away while going up the stairs and fell over and had a brain. Had a brain hemorrhage, and she didn't come out of it. And it's just so hard to believe it's happened, and how to tackle it. It's her prayers today. So I'm feeling upset about it. I don't know how to tackle it.
Yeah, so I would suggest for those of you who haven't done our meditation course, to go through those sessions where we talk about the cycle of time, and just that the time where we are, it's the end of Kali Yuga, it's the end of Iron Age. So things that we haven't seen, things we haven't thought, suddenly will happen. And it's like achanak, suddenly. And how suddenly one little mistake, as I was saying something that happened a few days ago, that somebody was hurt. It was just a sudden mistake. It wasn't even a mistake, but it was taken as in a wrong way. But suddenly anything can happen. And so we have to be prepared in our minds to accept that. And see, one way to look at it, that it happened suddenly, but the other way is that she didn't have to suffer much. Yeah, she could have had a long illness and, could have been out of action. So there's always a positive side to every incident. And this is what we have to learn to look at. And rather than being sad about why she is gone, if I have this feeling of gratitude for what I have experienced and understood and shared with her, then that soul will benefit more. Otherwise, what happens is I'm not happy and I'm not allowing the soul who has passed on to be happy. because I think I can mention this to this group that often when we cry, when our loved ones pass away, it's not because we are sad for them, but it's because there's a selfish need in us that is making us sad. And let's be honest about it and accept that it's our selfish need that brings sadness. So are we really loving that person who is gone? Then we would not be sad. I'm not saying that let's throw a party. Yeah, but let me not be sad. And let me actually acknowledge in my mind and in our groups, when you meet with the family, is what did that soul do for us? That's one way of helping the soul.
What I believed was in one of our sessions um, that when somebody passes on to another soul, um, we were told that not to cry because you're stopping that soul to go to a better home. So we must always try and pray and not cry all the time. Am I right, Didi? Because we're stopping our soul to go to a better home.
And see, if that soul was so beautiful, they would have done good karma. So their karma will take care that they will get a better place, or they will at least get a similar place like us,
Yeah.
similar situation, if not better. So
Yeah.
that's, let's be assured about it. And somebody asked a question saying they have lots of thoughts. I don't know, somebody's playing music in the background. So what I was saying was, they have lots of thoughts whilst doing prayers. I think it's just a matter of practice. The more you practice, I would suggest you do meditation or prayers, whatever you may feel comfortable with, shorter ones and more frequently, rather than trying to do longer ones and allowing your mind to kind of wander around. So start with shorter times, but more frequently in the day, and then build it up. And it's just like how we discipline a child. We have to do it with a lot of love, but also equal discipline. We don't give them to begin with any choices that are wrong. So similarly with our minds, also we have to give our minds the right choice, because otherwise it gets bored and wants to wander off. But when would our minds not wander? Because if I have the keen interest, like yesterday, we had our global international bhatti as an intense effort. Like when you put something in the furnace, like a brick, then it gets baked and then you can use it for constructing a building. But otherwise, the brick on its own, without being baked, if you try and put it in the building, it will crumble in no time. So we have good wishes, but we easily get crumbled because we haven't put ourselves into that intense fire. So yesterday, the aim was throughout the world, different centers, all our centers and the students of the regular students of the centers have aimed to have at least 8 hours sitting down meditation. So they started their morning meditation instead of 4 at 3 o'clock. And the night meditation instead of 15 minutes, much longer, and somehow built in the hour. Okay, some of us didn't make it whole 8 hours because different things came up, but at least the aim was to reach to 4 to 5 to 6 hours. So if the aim is there, then you'll find a way. And, so the keen interest needed that I want to pray in silence, I want to pray free of waste thoughts, then it will happen. Okay.
I think, when you talk about detachment from soul, I think if you gain that knowledge that you are detached from your soul, death is part of that detachment. It becomes so much easier to understand the whole concept.
So the soul
because
and
soul
body
doesn't die.
The soul doesn't die, and the soul and body are different. and our relationship was with the soul and not just the body. In terms of roles and, mami, babi, chachi, that was through the body, but it was with the soul, and the soul continues and will carry on. So yes, and the word detachment is not the way to look at it with harshness, but detachment is just that's how it is. Yeah. So you seeing this as a witness, then you can see a bigger picture. So any situation, when we learn to see a bigger picture, then the solutions are more
there.
available, and it's for benefit of all and not just one person or one party. Okay, I'd like to share a song on Tapasya. Is that okay, Panna? Yeah.
Didi, before you carry on, I think you answered Smita's question. She's watching on YouTube, and well, she was listening and watching it. So she was saying that you talked about Bhakti yesterday in the Murli, and she didn't know. Um, don't know if it's a celebration or it was mentioned different way. I think you've answered the question then.
So the word bhatti, as I said, is furnace. And
Yeah.
when we, like in India, when it's longer hours of meditation, they call it bhatti in our centers. Bhatti is like furnace. And we, in English also, we use the word bhatti because just like yoga, there's some of the words in English have the English speaking group have adopted. Yeah, the word tapasya, they understand, the word bhatti, they understand. So when we collectively come and do something together, we call it bhatti. And sometimes it could be individually, but where there is that intense desire to change. So when you put yourself into fire, then the brick gets baked, and then it's useful. Otherwise, it's like a showpiece and it can crumble anytime. So I'm happy today and I look nice, but my happiness is temporary. If somebody said something, then I get hurt. Where's my happiness gone? But when we allow ourselves for this intense type of meditation, where there is a bit of knowledge that we share, we work with a point of reflection or two. So like this month, I have mentioned to you last time as well that this month we're celebrating and remembering Mama, whom we used to call as Mama. She was about 16 years old when she came to us. In a year and a half, she was given the responsibility of being the mother of the organization. And she passed away in 65 on 24th of June, which is just gone. So this is why we're remembering her. And she was often referred to through our head, Brahma Baba, as Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. Also as the Durga, the Kali, so these were the aspects we were taking, that how each of us can be a Durga, how each of us can be a Santoshi, how each of us can be a Saraswati. So this was the awareness we had throughout the day. So whether we were able to sit down for 8 hours, 10 hours, that was not as important. It was important, but the main thing is the awareness was kept throughout the day. Sorry. Take this last question. I'm not sure what the question. Annabelle, do you understand this question that's come through the chat?
I think somebody called Jalpaben was not feeling good. Now she's feeling better health-wise.
Okay.
She must be going through an illness.
Yeah.
So Gitaben and Viren has just for concern mentioned that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for informing. Yeah, I just thought maybe it was lack of sleep or,
Yeah.
something. Okay, we'll finish with some more meditation and I'll play a song. That's okay. It's about tapasya. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait a minute or two.
Oh, Jalpamen is one of our meditate participants. She's here. Jalpamen is here. She takes part every Sunday. I'm just going to spotlight for her. There. That's Jalpa, and she's been taking part, and she's going through an illness and not keeping very well. So what
Okay,
can
so,
we say? But we pray for her too.
yeah, so let's dedicate the last few minutes
Yeah.
for her betterment of her health. I did see her on the video and I thought either she hasn't slept properly or something. So I didn't have
Yeah.
those thoughts. Okay, all the best. Panaman, can you allow me to share?
You're the co-host. You can share.
No, you hadn't made me co-host today.
Let me see again. Oh, did you log out again?
I think I had to, but somehow
Yeah,
it
because I
happened.
made you
Yeah.
co-host when you came first
Okay,
time.
all right.
Thank you. It's there now.
लगी लगन बस एक यही, 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 लगी लगन बस एक यही। हमें तपस्या करना है बन के तपस्वी मूरत साथी, अब अपने घर चलना है। लगी लगन बस एक यही, लगी लगन बस एक यही। हमें तपस्या करना है बन के तपस्वी मूरत साथी, अब अपने घर चलना है। लगी लगन बस एक यही, लगी लगन बस एक यही। तपस्या की मीठी मीठी लहरों के बीच में आओ खो जाएं हम अपने स्वरूप में। तपस्या की मीठी मीठी लहरों के बीच में आओ खो जाएं हम अपने स्वरूप में। दुनिया के आकर्षणों में, दुनिया के आकर्षणों में अब हमें ना रहना है, अब हमें ना रहना है। लगी लगन बस एक यही, लगी लगन बस एक यही। हमें तपस्या करना है बन के तपस्वी मूरत साथी, अब अपने घर चलना है। लगी लगन बस एक यही, लगी लगन बस एक यही। हमने लिया संकल्प आज अपने मन में, बनना तपस्वी हमें इस जीवन में। हमने लिया संकल्प आज अपने मन में, बनना तपस्वी हमें इस जीवन में। बाबा की शुभ आशाओं को, बाबा की शुभ आशाओं को अब हमें पूर्ण करना है, अब हमें पूर्ण करना है। लगी एक यही, लगी लगन बस एक यही। हमें तपस्या करना है, बन के तपस्वी मूरत साथी, अब अपने घर चलना है। लगी लगन बस एक यही।
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Didi.
And it's one of my favorite songs.
Om Shanti.
Yes, I just was engrossed. Om Shanti.
Beautiful song. Beautiful
Tapasya
tapasya.
is a must.
Om Shanti, Daksha Didi.
That was lovely. Om Shanti.
Thank you. See you soon. Next week will be Brother Vijay Deshpande who will be taking the session. He's at our retreat center at the moment in Oxford, but he's originally from Australia and Indian.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Om Shanti, Didi.
Om Shanti, everybody.
Om Shanti.
Thank you, Didi. It was really lovely. Om Shanti.
Shanti.
Thank you very much. So meditation is all about connecting with your soul. It is also ultimate mobile device. You can use it anywhere, anytime, unobstructively. And is intermittent fasting for the mind. Too much sugar leads to a heavy body, and too many distractions lead to a heavy mind. Time spent undistracted and alone in self-examination, journaling, meditation, resolves the unresolved and takes us from mentally fat to fit. It was a lovely session from Daksha Didi today. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and the music was beautiful as well. Thank you very much for all the participants to joining us today. Tomorrow we've got our Zumba, so please try and join in our Zumba. And then most likely on Wednesday, as I've been mentioning, that we've got Washaben who's going to talk about dementia. So try and look out for that link for Wednesday. And then Friday we've got yoga with Nina Ben. And as I mentioned in her class on Friday, that we would like all the participants to do something for us instead of we doing it this time. So if you've got something exciting to show us how to make something or to do something, please, you're welcome to talk about it. Just let me know and I can make arrangements for you. And then again, Saturday, our yoga. So we follow the routine again, the weekly routine. But look out for the dementia link for Wednesday. And I wish you all a happy weekend and take care all. Thank you.
Thank you, Panna Ben, for the lovely words. Thank you.
Thank you, Panna Ben.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Panna. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, Panna Ben.
Thank you,
Jai Shri
Miriam.
Krishna.
Thank you, Panna Ben. It was lovely. Lovely
Thank you.
talk.